Hi everyone, I'm taking advantage of a gorgeous spring-like day. The kayak is loaded and I'm continuing my research of cemeteries affected by the flooding of the Tennessee River. I'll get geared up and then we will visit two cemeteries. First is Bell Cemetery in Harrison, Tennessee, and then we will investigate the cemetery on Skull Island. This section of the Tennessee River was flooded in 1940 upon completion of the Chickamauga Dam. As part of its construction and the subsequent flooding of this area to form Lake Chickamauga, the Tennessee Valley Authority relocated grave sites from 24 cemeteries within this stretch of river. Chickamauga Dam was constructed using limestone from a nearby quarry. By studying the geological characteristics of this limestone, it's interesting attempting to identify gravestones with similar characteristics within this geographical area. 7 miles upriver of Chickamauga Dam is a section of islands that were once part of Old Harrison, Tennessee. During the wintertime, when water levels are lowered, some foundations and old roadbeds are visible. I'm standing in what was Old Harrison, Tennessee. There was a community here. There are some great stories of the residents throwing grandiose parties in the days prior to the waters coming up. I found a few foundations and several artifacts. In fact, see this right behind me? That's an old asphalt roadbed that was in use every day, but now it leads under lake levels. I want to show this to you. That asphalt leads all the way under lake levels. Can you imagine living in a time knowing that the waters were going to rise and take your land? I don't think I could imagine it. But I also couldn't imagine how cold that water actually is. I'm definitely putting Fowlies on prior to getting back in the boat and visiting Bell Cemetery. Resting upon a hilltop summit of John A. Patton Island, Bell's Cemetery is mostly abandoned except for a few noticeable grave sites and one grave marker. I've paddled my way to Patton Island and climbed this hill rise. This is Bell Cemetery. There's really not much here to see. It's abandoned now, but I have found one gravestone and several unmarked grave sites. As I was walking up, you probably saw that I'm wearing my snake boots. I'm always on the lookout for copperheads when exploring areas like this. As I paddle past Sequoia Nuclear Power Plant at River Mile 484, I reflect upon my prior research of Skull Island Cemetery and the story of two young brothers buried there. The two cooling towers stir this memory. As I paddle by Sequoia Nuclear Power Plant, I'm reminded of a sad story of two young brothers who were buried in Skull Island Cemetery. It's almost like the two cooling towers are standing in their honor. 1 mile upriver of Sequoia Nuclear Power Plant is Skull Island. Though Skull Island is accessible by car, boating gives me a better understanding of the river's impact of its geographically significant cemetery. The graves in Skull Island Cemetery were moved from Norman Eldridge Cemetery prior to its land's flooding in 1940. I hope you've enjoyed my tour of Bell Cemetery and the cemetery on Skull Island. If you enjoy my cemetery research, be sure to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and my website, thecemeterydetective.com. On YouTube, please subscribe, but more importantly, leave a comment below letting me know your favorite cemetery. The weather has turned much colder. I'm gonna go warm up. I'll see you on the next cemetery research adventure. Thank you for watching my video on the cemetery of Skull Island, which I have just finished editing. Skull Island is also a campground, and I want to include a couple of sequences and night photography that didn't make the final cut.